Welcome to the third video in this three-part series for entrepreneurs, with the first video being about what type of business you can start, the second video being about how to start it, and this video about what will make your business iconic. As you can see here, I have 6 books available for you to choose one, or you can choose a couple because you can actually connect the different messages. But to be able to pick one of these, I encourage you to take a moment to breathe in and breathe out so that you can pick intuitively with what you're feeling for messages that are most resonant to your unique life path. And once you have decided, check out either the pinned comment or description of today's video to click on the book you have chosen, and the video will fast forward itself to your reading. If you're new to my channel, hi, I'm Velvet Cat, and I share knowledge and inspiration through art and tarot to provide you answers for any questions you could be experiencing in your life, advice messages from the angels that are watching over us, motivation to follow your dreams, and all around empower you in love, career, health, mind, and soul. If you're completely new to tarot, or perhaps you might have heard of it before, I'd like to mention that it is not what you might expect. I've come to learn that it is simply just a tool by which those of us that choose to use our innate spiritual gifts can provide guidance, encouragement, and or confirmation about your own intuition. And while watching your reading that you picked, if it doesn't sound like you at all, then you might have not picked intuitively. You can come back here and pick a different option. But remember that these are general readings divided into just a small group of options for everybody that is watching. So of course, not everything will resonate. There will be some messages for you and some messages for others. And also, our angels and guides don't always want to provide all the answers because they want you to trust in your own life choices. And of course, life is full of surprises. Hey there, Group 1. This is your reading if you picked the book, The Power of Your Leadership. And this is a book about what makes a great leader, which we'll look through at the end of the reading to pick out perhaps a little bit of advice for you. And this reading is going to consist of showing you what will be iconic or what is iconic about your business that makes your business stand out and contributes to your success. Alright, so I had to pause the video because there was some noise outside, and while I was waiting, I read up a little bit about these cards, and this is trippy because the cards are connected. See, you have I speak with sincerity and I live in truth. Both of them with the key words of honesty, of speaking, of authenticity. And see, that is also here in what it's talking about with this card, the one of sincerity. It actually talks about truths. There is this quote here, for example, by the Kybalion that says, everything is dual, everything has poles, everything has its pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. Extremes meet. All truths are but half-truths. All paradoxes may be reconciled. And then there's also a little section over here about shedding skin like a snake. And there's a snake in this card. So many synchronicities already between them. I love that. And also with your other 2 oracle cards, you have the Muses card and Nut, which are Greek and Egyptian, both from similar locations of the world, and also both from societies that have the societies that we think of have died out, you know, like how people don't actually dress like this anymore or live this way. They're considered ancient societies. So with that, I already get the sense here that a few things that make your company, your business iconic revolve around tradition and history and facts, established information, established procedures, and plans and ways of being. Maybe your business has a bit of a classic flair, and with how we do have here inspiration and resurrection, which are about looking at new sources of ideas, you might have a way of keeping the old innovative without sacrificing the brand and what it stands for. So anything new that is incorporated into the business is still aligned with what customers would expect. Your company seems to have a very clear vision and mission, and everyone that works for the company knows about it. Everyone that buys or works with the company also knows about it. There's integrity that is not compromised. And those of you that start up a new company, then perhaps the way that you do so, the way that you stand out amongst competitors is by looking into history and bringing back some of that art, some of that culture, the aesthetic, whatever elements you resonate with. And you might also be the business that is not only authentic to their vision, but also authentic and transparent with the world. Once again, bringing it back to these two cards about truth. Then with tarot, we have the cards Page of Swords and Two of Wands, along with the Empress, the Five of Pentacles, and the High Priestess reversed. So what I see with these cards is reflecting what I was talking about with having a strong sense of self, mission, vision, purpose, getting everyone on the same page. It's almost like there's no room for confusion, for mystery, for error even. And your business might also stand out because you might want to be different. Those of you that are starting a new company, for example, you might want to do things a little differently than the rest of the entrepreneurial world. Even though you do have that grounded, secure stability that builds a solid success, there is the feeling of wanting to be different here with how the Empress is a nurturer and the Five of Pentacles is a card of being left out in the cold. So it's kind of like not just another business that wants to become a multi-million-dollar establishment that forgets its staff. Rather, the environment could feel like a family where the staff feel valued. Everyone is able to level up. So this creates a supportive community on all levels. The employees, the stock owners, the clients, the fans, even media. So now to complete your reading, let's look into the book here. What could serve as guidance? Right here. So we have this page that says articulating a dream. So I took the next 6 months to carefully construct a statement describing what I was seeking. See, look at that, getting clear on your statement, your purpose, your mission, and vision. It became my own version of I Have a Dream, inspired by the speech of the great Martin Luther King Jr. Certainly, my version was not as good as his, how could it be? But it was the best I could make it. It took me at least 50 drafts before I finally got it to be a version I could live with. It was my first attempt at writing a vision statement that I thought would attract the right kind of people into my world. People who shared my passion to make a difference for others. And it stuck for a very long time. Ooh, very powerful here. You could even start with that. And that's what will contribute to your success. What will make your company, your business iconic. So that's the reading I got for you. If it resonated, let me know down in the comments below. I always love reading what people have to say. And I hope you also like this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss my videos every time I post. Thank you for watching. Hey there, group 2. So this is your reading. If you chose the book, you are a badass. And this is a very exciting book that really uplifts your spirit, boosts your confidence. And once we're done with your reading, we're going to look through it to get you a little section that I could read and that perhaps could serve as guidance for you. But now we're going to get into looking at what will make your business iconic, or what is making your business iconic and memorable and contributing towards your success. Wow, I'm really loving the synchronicities, the connections that are showing up in these piles for today's reading. Because see here, we have two mermaids as your goddesses. First of all, we have Sedna, which is Inuit, and that's a Native American tribe, I believe. And then we have Atargatis, which is Sumerian, and she is considered, or she's known to be the first mermaid in the world, that in recorded history or something like that. That was the history about this goddess. And then look at these cards. They're talking about cleansing and balance. So this is already showing me that you could be a mystic, a spiritual healer. You could be a business that contributes to humanity, a nonprofit even, a business that cares about the well-being of the world, of its people, of its animals, of health and nature. And for some of you, what makes your business iconic is a little bit of magic, an otherworldly essence. Then the other two oracle cards we have are I honor virtue and I relate in peace. Even more mystic cards, mystic messages, because this one is talking about cleansing as well, with the peace, cleansing and balance. You know, being in a state of mind that is not cluttered with chaos. And same thing with the work environment and its contributions. A business that wants to bring peace to the world. Then this honor virtue card, this is the first card in this deck. And what it says here about these pillars, it's talking here about how virtue is our morals. And with those four pillars, they represent the four cardinal virtues: temperance, prudence, courage, and justice. Four pillars emerging from a strong spiritual foundation. See, look at that, confirming this essence here. And the pillars, one of them being temperance, that's also balance. Balance and healing. So it looks like your business will most definitely be able to do this. It will be very impactful, very healing. Plus with tarot, we have King of Wands and Princess of Cups, which is Page of Cups. And also the Magician. Look at that, more magic. And Five of Cups reversed, and the Chariot also reversed. So the Five of Cups is an energy that is kind of dwelling in the past, dwelling in pain and mistakes and grief. But I see here how one of the ways you'll be impacting the world is by getting them out of that, waking people up. Your business might also go through certain difficulties that could be publicized, and you're able to pull through them, to figure out solutions, be resourceful, and turn errors into connection with your audience. Your company might also be known for the words, the communication, this delivery that calms people down, with how the Chariot being reversed is now turning into slowing things down, slowing people down, bringing them to the present moment. And with having this King of Wands here next to the Magician, I feel like that's also about how your company will surprise people, making things happen that most would think unbelievable, unachievable. For many of you, I also feel like the focus would be on you. You would be what makes the company iconic. Because of how in these two cards we have here a very charming person that has received a rose, or is about to give the rose. And then here we have a princess looking girl it looks like she's holding a phone, using social media, contacting clients. And I thought this was a dress, but I just realized it's a table which has the constellations on it, and being right next to the Chariot card. Chariot also represents travel, but it's reversed. So it's like your business will be thriving worldwide from the comfort of your home or office. I'm also being brought back to the peace and cleansing and balance cards, because I'm getting the message of how your business will be different from most in the way that you'll be able to separate from your business for your own peace and sanity, your own well-being, where you're not part of the hustle culture and your audience is so loyal, so understanding, and so inspired by your choices, your actions. Basically being a great exemplary leader with tons of ideas, some of which will be groundbreaking, either in the sense of things that haven't been done before or by combining ideas in a new way, maybe even merging multiple niches together. All right, so now let's look in the book here. What page could have a message for you? And we have this one. This is chapter 21, and it says millions of mirrors. Look at how powerful this is already. This is like how you'll be so inspiring to people. You'll be reflecting to them their lives, their shadows, their choices. You'll be inspiring them to also take care of themselves as you take care of yourself. People will feel really connected with your business. And so here it's talking about, it has a little quote, and it says, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." It's a quote by Eleanor Roosevelt. And a little bit here that I'll read. So one of the most staggering things about other people is that they provide us with valuable and often alarmingly intimate information about who they are as soon as we meet them. If we pay attention, we can pick up on the major clues they're sending out through their body language, their appearance, their lifestyle, their actions, their interests, their words, how they treat their dogs, the waitress themselves, etc. Some people let it all hang out for everyone to see right away. Others let it seep out in little spurts. Like, "I love water skiing. I admire how confident you are about your weight problem. I just got out of prison," etc. With the exception of the sociopath or the skilled pathological liar, the majority of humanity gives us plenty to chew on right out of the gate. And all of this information then goes through the filter of who we are. And depending on your perceptions and judgments and hang-ups and number of years spent in therapy, we decide if the person is someone we want to get to know better or not. Then the final quote here says, "The people you surround yourself with are excellent mirrors for who you are and how much or how little you love yourself." So this could be guidance also about who you're surrounding yourself with, who your company is partnering with, always being mindful of that even as your company grows. All right, so that's the reading I got for you. If it resonated, let me know down in the comments below. I always love reading what people have to say. And I hope you also like this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss my videos every time I post. Thank you for watching. Hey there, group 3. This reading is for you if you chose the subtle art of not giving a F. And this is a really powerful book that brings us awareness about what we truly care about in life, at work, at home, in relationships, what we're truly willing to sacrifice, or not sacrifice, to suffer for, in a sense. That's what this is about. Because once we know the answer to this, then any obstacle that comes our way doesn't bother us as much. And we also know what we value and don't value, what we allow into our lives, and the rest doesn't matter. We don't let everything else, all the possible choices in the world, overwhelm us. So at the end of your reading, I'm going to look through it to provide you with a bit of a message that could serve as guidance. But now let's get into what is iconic about your business that makes you different and contributes to your success. Alright, so with Oracle, you got the cards. I create harmony and I am trustful in my relationships. From this, I'm getting this message of how you could have a really great power at connecting people. You could be really great at networking, leading teams, working with different personalities, perspectives, ideas, and you could even be a great delegator. And translating this over to your business, I feel like what would make it iconic is its ability to unite different communities. Your business might even have the top talent, like really great names associated with your brand, building credibility. And I'm also getting a sense of technology here, minimalism, beauty. Then with how we have a Hindu and Aztec goddess here in your other two oracle cards, Goddess Lakshmi and Xochitl, I also feel like your business is working with people of all backgrounds, not just, white people. You might be trying to tell new stories and bringing attention to all types of cultures, elevating their value that they contribute to the world. With how the keywords here are abundance and gratitude, I also feel like your business will be really up there, really high up. It'll reach levels that you couldn't even imagine. And for some of you, your business could actually create wealth for communities, provide opportunities and grants. Then with tarot, we have the cards 7 of Swords, 10 of Cups, and King of Wands reversed, along with the Emperor reversed, 7 of Cups, Ace of Swords, and 9 of Cups. See, look at that. 9 of Cups is not only how abundant your company will be, but also the opportunities you provide, like helping people with their wishes. And how I was saying here with grants, with having the Emperor being reversed and this 7 of Swords and also the King of Wands reversed, I feel here like the focus, the priority, the attention will most definitely not be on the CEO or the founder or any single person, but rather what would make your business iconic would be the contributions of your team and the community. All right, sorry, I had a bit of an interruption, so I kind of forgot what I was saying, but I think it was like around how the focus would be more on the community, the people, rather than the entrepreneur, the CEO. This could also be if your company is built by multiple people rather than just one. And another way that I feel your business would be iconic is how you're not just providing the opportunities, you might also be educating people on how to achieve their own dreams. Because the Swords element has to do with intellect, with writing, with communication, education, knowledge, and speaking. And in this 10 of Cups, it kind of looks like an audience that is standing around a stage. So the stage could be events that are either educating or sharing new innovative products and inventions, or making space to present the people of cultures that are often pushed aside. There's a great vibe here of making people feel seen, feel valued, and feel taken care of. And also bringing it back to this 9 of Cups with what I was saying about an essence that is minimalist and beautiful. And these images looking very futuristic, innovative, then it's making me think of how your presentations, your products, services, your events, your business could be working with unusual tools, technology, and leave viewers awestruck, feeling like they can't believe their eyes. All right, so let's see what message I can read for you from the book here. And this is the page that's standing out. It's talking about staying positive. And it says the trick with negative emotions is to 1, express them in a socially acceptable and healthy manner, and 2, express them in a way that aligns with your values. A simple example, a value of mine is nonviolence. Therefore, when I get mad at somebody, I express that anger, but I also make a point of not punching them in the face. Radical idea, I know, but the anger is not the problem. Anger is natural. Anger is a part of life. Anger is arguably quite healthy in many situations. See, it's the punching people in the face that's the problem. Not the anger. The anger is merely the messenger for my fist in your face. Don't blame the messenger, blame my fist on your face. When we force ourselves to stay positive at all times, we deny the existence of our life's problems. And when we deny our problems, we rob ourselves of the chance to solve them and generate happiness. Problems add a sense of meaning and importance to our life. Thus, to duck our problems is to lead a meaningless existence. I feel like this is really great aligned guidance with what we're talking about here in gratitude, because gratitude is not about positive, like blind positivity, toxic positivity. It's about acknowledging what is around us, to be happy about, to help uplift us. But this doesn't mean that we need to ignore any negative emotions that come up. For some reason, this is making me think of any controversies that could come about for your business or any negative talk. You know, there's always going to be haters in all aspects of life. So the way to deal with such situations is not by attacking, but rather to be the diplomat, to be the bigger person. And perhaps that could even be advice for your business with its workers and with its clients, where you provide a safe space for people to provide feedback, what their thoughts are on improvements, or a safe space to express their worries and listen to their needs. So that's the reading I got for you. If it resonated, let me know down in the comments below. I always love reading what people have to say, and I hope you also like this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss my videos every time I post. Thank you for watching. Hey there, group 4. So you chose the book Influence, Science and Practice. And I haven't read it yet, but I was recommended to it for marketing and sales tips. At the end of the reading, we're going to look through it really quickly to get you a message, perhaps as guidance. But for now, we're going to look at what makes your business iconic, or what will make it iconic, make it stand out, memorable, and contribute to your success. Alright, so the cards that you got with Oracle are: I speak with sincerity and I act respectfully of others. This one is about being authentic, and being authentic does require a bit of courage, a bit of thinking outside the box, which is actually something that is in this card in the book, and I'd like to read it really quickly. See, here it's talking about the samurai of medieval Japan, which has an unwritten code of conduct and morals known as Bushido. The 6 virtues of this code were courage, benevolence, politeness, loyalty, self-control, and honor. Honorably respecting and appreciating all life was of the utmost importance to these warriors of days gone by. And you are the master and commander of your mind. So the key words that are currently standing out to me are courage, honor, and authenticity. Then the other 2 oracle cards are Shi Wang Mu, the goddess here that says renewal, and she's a Chinese goddess with an elixir of life and youth. And then you've got Ixchel, which has the keyword here, reinvention. And she's the Mayan moon goddess of creativity. So immediately, the vibe I'm getting here about what will make your business iconic is change. That your business will be transforming. It could be innovative, like trend-setting. Your business could consist of ideas and products and services that change quite often and that surprise people. For some, I'm kind of feeling here fashion vibes or makeup or some type of creative field which consists of following the seasons like spring, summer, fall, winter. Or since this book here does have the word influence, then it could also mean that your business is you as an influencer, constantly reinventing and pushing boundaries and perhaps even creating the best buzz ahead of the launches, like marketing wise, trailers, advertising, and social media posts, social media content that is alluring, that is mysterious, which then creates a launch that is very successful and also catches people by surprise with even more creative expression. There's a really big energy here of going big and luxurious, making a statement with everything that you do. And then with tarot cards, we have here the World, card number 21, and Queen of Cups, along with Page of Wands reversed, Seven of Wands, and the Nine of Cups also reversed. So see, this Seven of Wands is exactly what I'm talking about, because this one in the traditional tarot does consist of one person standing above the rest of the crowd. And here we do have such an interesting creature I've never seen. I don't know what this is, but it looks kind of like alien, even though it's some type of sea creature. So perhaps even a lot of what this company does, many people might not understand. Only the loyal fans will really admire it. But this will be enough to create a company that is worldwide here, that makes a worldwide impact, recognized and adored across cultures, across worlds. So much so that the fans are pretty obsessed. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting here. Like BTS fans, or Marvel fans, or Chanel fans. And with having the Nine of Cups being reversed, I feel like not many people will be your target audience. You'll have a specific demographic, and that might actually be those with high incomes that can afford your luxury products or services. And lastly, with this Page of Wands being reversed, I feel like your company will not say yes to just anyone. Your company will be very selective as to who it works with, who it partners with, what types of ideas it creates. Oh, and if your company does consist of a person being the face, then it does look like this person will also be what's iconic about the company, where people will want to know the story, this person's biography, and want to be like them. But if there is no specific face to this company, like this is more representing your target audience, then you'll present such an iconic image and lifestyle that your buyers will want, which takes us back to the loyalty worldwide. So now to complete your reading, let's get you a message from the book here that could perhaps serve as guidance. Okay, we have this page. And wow. So here it says the principle of social proof, and it also says people power. This part is talking about discovering why canned laughter is so effective. We first need to understand the nature of yet another potent weapon of influence, the principle of social proof. This principle states that we determine what is correct by finding out what other people think is correct. This principle applies especially to the way we decide what constitutes correct behavior. And then the people power part here says, television executives are hardly alone in their use of social evidence for profit. Our tendency to assume that an action is more correct if others are doing it is exploited in a variety of settings. Bartenders often salt their tip jars with a few dollar bills at the beginning of an evening to simulate tips left by prior customers, and thereby to give the impression that tipping with folding money is proper barroom behavior. And yeah, it consists with other examples of money tricks. So both of these are very much tied together around how having credibility through social interactions will boost your company's exposure. So in the beginning, this could be talking about how you'll be a company that is very much adored, so fans will be buzzing about it. But it could also serve us guidance as to how with social media posts, you can nurture your first loyal supporters to where they're consistent on their interactions with your content and keep it growing like that little by little. Along with collecting testimonials, those are very important for businesses to use as credibility. And if you'd like to learn more influential tips, I highly recommend this book. And that's what I got for your reading. I hope it was very helpful, very inspiring. And you comment below this video that you picked this pile. I also hope you like it, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss my videos every time I post. Thank you for watching. Hey there, Group 5. So this is your reading if you picked the book Nonviolent Communication, which is a really amazing, really helpful book around how to get our point across, how to be heard without needing to fight or push people. And this book can be helpful in your personal relationships as much as for business and work environments. So at the end of the reading, I'm going to look through it to get you a little message that could perhaps serve as guidance. And for your reading, I'll be using Oracle and Tarot to look into what will make your business iconic. All right, let's check it out. Wow, so I can't remember if I said this in another pile, but there have been so many synchronicities in all of these piles today. And in yours, we have these triangles representative of pyramids and the third eye, enlightenment and connection between earth and the divine, or earth and the universe, the galaxies, which also consists of aliens, and she kind of looks like an alien here. And then you have these two goddesses, Isis, Egyptian goddess of magic, and Inanna, Sumerian queen of the heavens, with their words strength and desire here. And then in these other two oracle cards, we also have forgiveness. See, this one says, I am forgiving. And this one says, I consume only my fair share. So there's like a nice balance of give and take, a nice understanding of oneness and communities and collaboration, creation, working together. Perhaps for a strong mission, a strong desire, as this is talking about here. And also for this card, it mentions desire in the book. Look at this. So it says here, the Egyptian creator, and there we go, synchronicity, Atum, God Atum, was born of the great sea of Nu, the son of the primeval waters of chaos. He was a son alone in darkness. Atum named himself Ra, a label for the creator of creation. A single sphere of light with only infinite night as his companion, Ra desired more, and thus the Egyptian pantheon of gods and goddesses or knitters arose. Chaos ensued from creation, from desire to dynasty, dynasty to history, history to mythology. From the one came many songs. See, there's definitely a power here that your company is going to have. almost like a cult, but not a cult. It will feel like a large family that is very united, standing for whatever mission you build upon. And I'm feeling here like your company will not stop growing. Like it could start out with a few people and have more staff, and then have shops or offices in multiple locations in the world and keep expanding, becoming like the next Google or the next Amazon or the next biggest social media platform. And for some, I'm sensing here that what you build actually helps creators. Like it helps them with managing their own businesses or with building things using technology. It almost feels intangible because of how here these girls are touching and holding light and space and air. For some of you, you could actually be the breakthroughs in science and technology because of how here we have what looks like the famous music artist David Bowie. So it's making me think of how at Coachella one year, they had an illusion of Tupac singing on stage. And in this specific image, it also looks like they're looking into David Bowie's memories. Then with tarot, we have the cards here, Page of Cups and King of Cups reversed, along with Four of Cups, Seven of Swords, and the Six of Wands reversed. So with these cards, your business could be taking risks in those new technologies that I'm talking about, or science fields, those new inventions, and having to keep a lot of things secret and copyrighted, trademarked, signing a lot of consent forms. For some of you, your business won't be out in the public with how the Six of Wands is reversed. This is one of victories and celebrations that are public. And then this Four of Cups is looking here like they're having some type of dinner, an exclusive dinner with an exclusive award. So even if your business is not recognized worldwide, it is most definitely recognized by some type of award. The biggest one you could think of that is important to you in your field. And what I feel here tying these cards together along with the forgiveness card and strength, the reason your business will stand out, like the way your business works, could be because you're a great leader that is very cooperative, that doesn't add fire to the flame within drama, controversies. Your company might be very transparent, honest, trying to keep things calm, minding your own business. Like how here she's just on her phone ignoring this King of Cups reversed, which is someone perhaps chaotic, someone dramatic. These could actually be the media or investors that you reject or that don't believe in what you're creating, especially if you seem young to them because of how we do have the Page of Cups here. Since pages are the babies of the courthouses between page, knight, king, and queen. They're the babies, the young ones, the newcomers. And for some, I even feel like you'll actually be the person that does come in as the fresh face, fresh energy into an established company and completely renovates it, brings it back to life. So some people might not like that. And with these cards being here, it's like advice that you'll need to hold on to your faith, hold on to your power, stay strong. It's going to be a wild ride and you're going to shock people. Oh, and before I get into the book, I do want to mention here that we have a lot of female energy. These cards, this one, and then this is the only male. So I'm kind of feeling like another reason your business will be iconic or you'll be iconic is because you could be a woman, and especially a woman of color, a woman of another culture, which is coming into some type of very white male dominant industry. All right, so now let's look into the book here. What page could have a message for you? This one. And let's see what it says here. So this says the protective use of force in schools. Interesting. I'd like to describe how some students and I used protective force to bring order into a chaotic situation at an alternative school. The school was designed for students who had dropped out or been expelled from conventional classrooms. The administration and I hope to demonstrate that a school based on the principles of NVC would be able to reach these students. My job was to train the faculty in NVC and serve as consultant over the year. With only 4 days to prepare the faculty, I was unable to sufficiently clarify the difference between NVC and permissiveness. As a result, some teachers were ignoring rather than intervening in situations of conflict and disturbing behavior. Besieged by increasing pandemonium, the administrators were nearly ready to shut down the school. And when I requested to talk with the students who had contributed most to the turbulence, the principal selected 8 boys, ages 11 to 14, to meet with me. Then this was the following dialogue, and the discussion turned into one particularly pressing problem, that of students who didn't want to work disturbing those who did. And let's see how this story continues here. So it completes here. I said I thought the plan might work if we could show that the purpose was not to punish, but to provide a place to go for those who weren't ready to study, and simultaneously a chance to study for those who wanted to study. I also suggested that a to-do-nothing room would be more likely to succeed if it was known to be a product of student brainstorming rather than staff decree. So that to-do room was set up for students who were upset, and sometimes students asked to go, sometimes teachers asked students to go. In summary, in situations where there is no opportunity for communication, such as in instances of imminent danger, we may need to resort to the protective use of force. The intention behind the protective use of force is to prevent injury or injustice, never to punish or to cause individuals to suffer, repent, or change. The punitive use of force tends to generate hostility and to reinforce resistance to the very behavior we are seeking. Punishment damages goodwill and self-esteem and shifts our attention from the intrinsic value of an action to external consequences. Blaming and punishing fail to contribute to the motivations we would like to inspire others. Wow, that actually matches really great with this part about forgiveness and working with others. Having the strength to stay away from toxicity and drama. And I'm also hearing here another message about not falling into the trap of being a toxic leader. Because in the media, it is portrayed that to be successful, we need to be ruthless. But as that passage was talking, there's no need for violence. You can figure out solutions for everyone to be heard, for problems to dissolve, and for everyone to also succeed, without having to throw anyone under the bus, throw anyone to blame, without stealing ideas, without taking anyone's jobs, being strong enough to be different, to be authentic, collaborative, and have empathy. All right, so that's the reading I got for you. If it resonated, let me know down in the comments below. I always love reading what people have to say. And I hope you also like this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss my videos every time I post. Thank you for watching. Hey there, Group 6. So this is your reading if you chose the book Crushing It, which is a really fun, really great book about marketing tricks and social media use with lots of awesome examples that you can easily try out, very actionable. And at the end of the reading, we're going to look through it to get you a little bit of a passage that I could read to you, perhaps as guidance. But now let's look at what is iconic or will be iconic about your business. Alright, so this is quite funny because I feel like the energy in the cards are reflecting Gary Vee's energy. See here with the Oracle, we have I speak with sincerity, which is about authenticity and honesty. without fear, being fearless, being bold. Then we also have I do good. And then we have I am humble. With these cards, they have an energy of such a big heart, either you or your company having such a big heart and creating things that help people, perhaps even that inspire them to also be authentic, to express themselves freely. And I wanted to read a little bit about this card specifically from the book, which says here, the etymology of gospel finds its truest root in the Greek word evangelion, meaning good news. An ancient tradition spoke of the most sacred actions and greatest stories of all time from lip to ear. Good books, which spread good news, allow words to exist in three-dimensional objects so that the testimonies of history and the accounts of the great mysteries can be studied and observed. Goodness embodied allows for an existence which is history in motion. Emotion expressed in the highest form. Energy transformed into a testimony of a life lived in alignment with loving kindness and a conservation of affection to cause and effect to a world in need. With every deed done, time becomes dented with dignity. Human hearts expand farther away from density and the light of the earth shines brighter than before. So like your business could have a mission to elevate the world, to leave a footprint, to leave ripples of action. So like Gary Vee, you could create books, you could create podcasts and videos. You could also be a speaker with how here we have, she looks like she's about to do some type of speech. And you could also do art. And what you create is something that reflects your time. Like I think the word for this would be zeitgeist. So your business might be the type to wake people up to social injustices, equality between sexes, between races. You could raise awareness and educate people on history that is still going on today. And for some of you, your business could be trying to conserve history in some way, like monuments or architecture or fashion, conserve books or parks. And with doing good deeds, this could also include spreading more positive news rather than focusing on the pain of the world, tragedies, injustices, and destruction. So you could provide solutions that help people feel like change actually is possible. Give people the ability to feel like they are contributing to the well-being of people, the world, and animals in a better way than it has been before, where for example, not certain nonprofits, we donate, but we don't know where the money is going. So what makes your company iconic is that you are actually transparent about many details of where you source products, what change donors' money are actually making, things like that. And see, that's also even like shown here with this card that says Transcendence. This is the goddess Laurel Kidno, and then we also have all of these other goddesses. Hina, which says courage, Shiwangmu, which says renewal, and Ixchel, which says reinvention. And these two cards were actually in another pile, so if you felt like you wanted to watch another one of the readings, another one of the piles, another one of the books, then you can check that out and you might stumble on the same one that had these two cards. But basically, these two cards are definitely the energy of like a shock value, of making impactful change, which will require a lot of courage. What's also interesting about this pile is that I feel like it does connect with the rest of the piles. Like it's kind of a summary of all of them, because I'm feeling so many different energies, so many different ideas. Maybe you are a multi-passionate entrepreneur. And so throughout your life, you could actually build a few different businesses in different niches with different missions. I'm feeling the energy here of someone that is multi-talented and has big dreams. Once again, with the reinvention here and the renewal, trying one thing, then another, then another. So you will need to be careful with that, not to try to do everything all at once. Start with one thing, succeed there, use that money to start the next idea, succeed there, and keep multiplying. And then with tarot, we have the cards here. Four of Wands reversed and Queen of Pentacles, along with the King of Wands and the Emperor. Yes! Oh my goodness. And the Three of Wands. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, yes, this is definitely confirming what I was saying. The Emperor. That is the multi-talented entrepreneur. This is the combination of all the kings, which you have one of them here standing out. So perhaps you might actually have a partner. Like if this emperor is a combination of you and someone else, this could be you and a person. You'll know which one is which. See, the King of Wands here, this is someone that is a great leader. They are bold. They are masculine. They live life passionately, always on the go. And then the Queen of Pentacles is, of course, a feminine energy. This could be the person that handles the money, or they're the planner, and the King of Wands is the support, bringing those ideas to life. This Queen of Pentacles can gather people together, be a great project manager. And while this is more of an outgoing personality, this could be a little bit more introverted. Maybe this is the networker, getting the deals done, while this is the doer behind the scenes. But with both of them combined, we have the Emperor, which is them, and it's also their team, their fan base. It's everyone as one. Because the Emperor, how I said, is all the kings. That means the King of Wands, which I already said is the active leader. The King of Pentacles, which would be the practical strategist. The King of Cups, which is the intuitive and creative listener of everyone's needs, also charming. And then we've got the King of Swords, which is the analytical, straight to the point businessman or woman. So your business could be the type of iconic that is like Warren Buffett or the top 10 billionaires, where people know of these billionaire stories. They're iconic because of their multiple successes, their multiple endeavors, which is shown here with this Three of Wands. And with this Four of Wands being reversed, I feel like that reflects how your business isn't all fluff. Like it actually has depth. It actually provides useful content, useful products and services. And although it can be luxurious, it doesn't need to be. Which brings me back to this humble card, like a business that doesn't need to be boastful, that doesn't need to brag, and still feels united with their communities. Kind of like how recently I saw a video of how the actor from Rambo still talks to his fans, takes pictures with his fans. If you ever catch him, he will take a picture and talk to you. And I feel like it's a similar thing with The Rock. They remain grounded. They don't think they're better than others. All right, so now let's look at the book here and what message we could get for you. Okay, we have this page. And here, this says how I'm crushing it. And this is a little bit of a story from this guy named Dion Graham, which is a digital architect. This is their Instagram account. So it says here, Dion Graham was a tennis pro. Now he's Diddy's digital director. He's only 31, but already he has one of the most coveted jobs in the marketing world. That's what personal branding can do for a person. This story starts in 2008 in Miami. During the day, Dion was teaching tennis. At night, he was spending too much money at the clubs and doing young people stuff. He noticed there was a void in the marketplace. Clubs wanted to market only to certain type, white, Hispanic, etc. And while they liked having hip-hop parties because the revenue was good, they shied away from projecting the image of having a heavy hip-hop crowd. The marketing company was focusing on clubs that cater to an urban or hip-hop audience. So Dion decided he would. See here already the story is touching on so many things. One of which is the part about not falling into the crowd, into the fame mentality, with how he was talking about him spending too much money at clubs doing young people stuff. And being the type of person, the type of entrepreneur that catches where there is a marketplace missing and you can fill that market with your products and services. That's what will contribute to your success. I feel like you have a strong sense of catching those things, having an eye for that. And that could also be why you have a ton of ideas here. All right, so that's everything I got for you. If it resonated, let me know down in the comments below. I always love reading what people have to say, and I hope you also like this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss my videos every time I post. Thank you for watching.